Good evening, good evening, good evening, folks. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels. We are going back to that horrible world known as the JRC, but before we do, the usual disclaimers. If you are unfamiliar with the Stop the Shocks campaign or the campaign against the troubled teen industry, you're going to find all the pertinent links right there in the description box. Please in particular take note of the article written by Neuroclastic, a small non-for-profit started by autistics for autistics. In it, they interviewed over 800 ABA professionals from all over the world in regards to the JRC's so-called behavior modification program. The Judge Rotenberg Educational Center doesn't want you to read that article so much. They threatened Neuroclastic with a defamation lawsuit if they did not remove it from the website. Neuroclastic refused. You know the drill. Please read the article. Share on all your social media. Also included is Neuroclastic's public statement regards to the defamation lawsuit threat, as well as a link to their GoFundMe. We are crowdfunding just in case the JRC ever actually does see through with their threat. Trigger warning 1, when we discuss places like the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center, Agape a school for boys, or anything that is really falling under the Stop the Shocks or ending those stupid line of evangelical schools, it's going to be all right there in the description box, folks. But when we covered those types of places, sorry, you all have no idea the special rabbit hole I've been down today regards to research. We'll get into that here in a moment. But you are going to hear vivid descriptions of catch clips of surveillance footage of people with mental health issues and disabled people being tortured and abused. If you do have young children present, excuse me, please go ahead and use the headphones. Trigger warning 2, this channel is marked not for kids for a reason. We use profanity on occasion and speak on dark subjects. If your child is 16 and younger and they're watching this, very obviously, parental supervision is very much advised. Trigger warning 3, we are, once again, to be gaslit 6 ways from Sunday. While being gaslit, reading the same arguments that the JRC have been using literally since 1976. And again, in these comments, they still fail, again, to address any of the concerns in regards to the FDA, nor do they answer any of their challenges in regards to, but they tried everything and nothing else worked. What they always say, without addressing that the FDA and all the documentation that they've gone over shows that before they get sent to that Disney acid trip from hell place, these folks did not get the proper full functional behavioral assessment done. So it doesn't matter if the parent has sent that kid to every single school that's top notch on the planet to deal with us Audi folks. If you are trying to do a treatment without a foundation, of course it doesn't work. You don't even know specifically what things they need support with, what triggers need to be worked on, what coping strategies you can use to help them when you're dealing with folks who can't even bother to try and figure out what those triggers are. So we're going to be gaslight 6 ways from Sunday. They're going to continue to not address a single point the FDA, the UN, the International Disability Rights Coalition, as well as others, have been trying to get them to answer for decades. Alright? So please be prepared for that. Also, this is a different type of brain fog. There's the RFK rabbit hole that has to do with COVID and everything. And then there is the far longer, far darker, and far more batshit insane rabbit hole in regards to RFK Jr. That has to deal with, let me see here, the MMR vaccine, waters, sources, turning kids trans or gay. I wish to God I was kidding you. But I pulled that article for today. That is absolutely, completely false and batshit insane. So, if I go off in left field or you see me like staring blankly at a wall, I'm trying to recalibrate my brain and bring it back to some form of sanity after all the just. God, I can't wrap my head around it, folks. I can't wrap my head around it. I said I was going to be objective. I said I want to hear them completely in his own context without the view of what he's saying being influenced by anyone. And folks, it's worse. It's so much worse. Holy crap. I'm going to need to take notes. And I need to never try to do the research end of that upcoming project without some form of chamomile tea, also spiked with kava, ever again. Alright? Okay. Now, back where we left off last time. Furthermore, these patients' individual experiences serve to highlight that a one-size-fits-all approach to treating SIB or AB will inevitably deprive many patients of effective life-saving medical treatment. For the love of God, the only people who are doing the one-size-fits-all shit, JRC, is you. It is you who insist that the horrific abuse, starvation, second to third degree burns, and bruises all over their body is necessary for them in order to be properly treated. But it doesn't stop there. No, you double down on the stupid. But that saying that by doing those things, depriving them of food, depriving them of sleep, shocking them multiple times a day at just below the lethal limit, the insane, bizarre verbal rehearsal lessons, you double down saying, this is life-saving, and it makes their life worth living. Are you all on crack? Is crack what you all smoke up there at JRC? Is it meth? Is it some weird combination of meth, cocaine, and some psychedelics going on up there? Because how in the name of God would you call that life-saving treatment? And before you try to gaslight my ass, again, my mom has worked in healthcare for over 40 years. The majority of those 40 years she's been working inside the ER, including the times where often I would show up there after school and sit out there waiting for her, or as I got older, my brother, to get off the work so we could go home. Okay. Your shock device is not life-saving. Okay. Not even remotely close to it. But it keeps them from harming themselves for 5 fucking minutes. What is so difficult to comprehend here? Why can't we get it through your all's heads? Your method of dealing with those very real issues is not something that is going to provide some form of long-term success. Because all you're doing is punishing them. You're teaching them no coping mechanisms, no self-soothing techniques. You are putting no tools in their hands whatsoever in order to help address the triggers, so that at the very least the frequency of the not so fun part of our diagnosis can come down substantially. And we can go out there and with community-based programs, decent circles of support, what have you, we're able to go out there and contribute to society. Okay? What's life-saving is when you have someone that is coming through the ER and they have to, if we want to get like as close to we can, use defibrillators to shock their hearts into start beating again. Okay? It is stopping a major gun wound, putting pressure on it and running them with the bed to wherever they need to go to take care of said bullet and what's going on there. Okay? See, I've been around ERs and clinics, nursing homes and shit since before I could walk. Okay? You trying to sit there and tell me that a device that Dr. Israel designed with the main intention in mind to cause pain to the students who are wearing it as a consequence to actions that are not under their control, because you rather try to shock or torture or abuse the disability out of us instead of doing your jobs and sticking to the methods that we actually can show you have long-lasting results. That's not life-saving. It's not life-saving. Okay? And as far as, but they're not hitting themselves or a threat to other people. I'll go back to the analogy I like the most. If my brother were to randomly, punch me in the face, or any other just random fit of violence, more than likely it's going to stop me in my tracks for whatever action I was participating in beforehand. That doesn't mean that the idea should be to have him come here rent-free and punch me right every single time right before I go into a cycle of stimming. Okay? You can't defend the indefensible without seeming like you're either batshit insane or like major super villain evil. Okay? Your arguments are bad because your actions are exactly that. They are undefendable. That's why your excuses are paper thin, and why it is so easy to dissect your idiotic comments year after year, document after document so easily. It also doesn't help your case that any challenges we have brought up in regards to your comments, you just completely, utterly refuse to acknowledge or address and continue repeating the same crap year after year. Okay? Life saving is what happens in ERs. Life saving in regards to mental health, proper medication, proper treatment team, proper circle of support, person-centered planning. Now, that's not going to be for all of us. That is specifically mine. And I also helped introduce it to some of the other folks early 2000s. I was one of the first to test out that whole system out in the state of Missouri. Just stop, JRC. You can't sit there and say that their lives are enriched, their lives are better because now they're free from those aggressive behaviors and abusing themselves, when the only thing you've actually done is simply switched out abusers. You switched out them abusing themselves with you abusing them. Literally nothing has changed here. Okay? Alright, let's continue to read, shall we? Yes. But none of the things that you all do address their specific needs. You don't know. We know their needs. Okay, I'll bite. Put down a full functional behavioral assessment right in front of me. Granted, you better not because of HIPAA. But hear me out here. If we have multiple parents coming to tell us that before their kid got sent to your insanity, telling us that there was no full functional behavioral assessment done before they got stuck in that school, then how would you even know what those specific needs are? You don't. You're guessing and you're making assumptions based off of ABA bullshit. And you know what? ABA gets it wrong too. It's neurotypicals grafting onto us what would cause you to have those types of behaviors. Instead of coming to this from the angle of, no, I don't know what's going on. No, I don't know what these triggers are. So we need to do a proper full functional behavioral assessment so that we can see what those specific needs are and then go over the multiple treatment programs that look like it's going to best target the specific needs of the kid. And JRC, if you dare open your mouth and say that you do that, I swear to God, I swear to God, I will pimp hand you so hard. Your mutant grandchildren who managed to survive the apocalypse is going to feel it. Sorry, that's a horrible analogy, folks. And I can't edit that, so I'll apologize for that particular comment right now. But for the love of God, seriously. You're switching out abusers. That's all it is. Which is why you don't see any real meaningful improvement or progress in regards to those behaviors. You're punishing them instead of teaching them. Let me say that again for the morons in the back. You're punishing them, not teaching them. Therefore, your entire program is absolutely and utterly useless. It's going to remain so as long as you continue to insist in punishment as a treatment model instead of doing your damn jobs. And by the way, I don't consider it doing your job that you are switching a student from abusing themselves and instead you have a direct care staff do the abusing for them. Nothing changes in that scenario. Other treatment programs, you want to know why the JRC continues to tell us that they don't work? It's because those programs take a good long while before you start seeing results. Nothing is instant. And yeah. Alright, let's paraphrase the rest of this. I can only handle so much stupid today. The RFK Jr. stuff, it's just the rabbit hole of my worst nightmares. Send the damn comet, for the love of God. Okay. So they're going to tell us here more gaslighting. See? But we do an assessment with a psychologist and a psychiatrist, and we take care of the medications. Okay. Where do those doctors do their practice at? JRC? What doctors are recommending this treatment program to vulnerable kids? What clinic do they work in? Is it a successful practice? Are they well known in the area? The answer is no, folks. The so-called professionals who are signing these kids up to be tortured are JRC employees. Therefore, JRC, your appeal to authority does absolutely nothing here. You have had multiple decades to provide a singular doctor, a neurologist, a psychiatrist, a psychologist, literally fucking anyone in the damn field that is not in any way, shape, or form associated with the JRC that is willing to back your stupidity. It's almost been 2 decades for me. Some folks have been fighting this 40, 30 years. Yeah. Don't gaslight me with that appeal to authority when the so-called professionals that you're referencing have their paycheck signed by you. Therefore, their opinions on the matter are suspect, at the very least. Alright. Now, they have more gaslighting. They're going to tell you, but all the other options have failed, again, refusing to address the full functional behavioral assessment. They're going to tell you, but no, here's our assessment here. Yeah, about their form of assessment. You remember when we went over that, right? It was literally simply a long list of shockable offenses and a little checklist to check it off and say, I think that behavior, because of this was their punishment. If we do this here, it will really scare them into compliance. That is not a full functional behavioral assessment, kids. That is an assessment that covers multiple areas. Strengths, weaknesses. It's all encompassing. Okay? A real decent treatment program isn't just about fixing problems, it's also something that should be geared towards progress. So the areas where we're strong in will be encouraged. Like it was with me. I got to, go to college. All right? And after reading the RFK Jr. special Cracktacular Insanity today, I'm a little bit brain dead. So I'm going to go ahead and close out the video for tonight. We don't get very many views on this channel. The few we do tend to get removed from time to time. Please don't forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe, don't forget to hit the comments. I appreciate your time. As always, we here at Spilling Tea hope you have a good one. I'll see you all later. Please pray for my sanity because I gotta have to do more research tomorrow and my brain's already fried. Bye-bye, everyone.